Have you ever wondered why your eyes are drawn to a specific part of an image? Well, it's not by accident. In this video, I'm going to show you how I use power windows to guide the viewer's eye, shape light, and give my color grades a more cinematic feel. All right, so we have our image here, and I'm going to go over to the window icon. And as you can see here, we have linear, circle, polygon, curve, and gradient. So these are the different windows that you can use. And in this case, this shot was from a spec ad I did for Garmin watch. So one of the ways I like to use windows is to direct the viewer's eyes to where I want them to be. So obviously, like I said, this video was for Garmin. So I want the viewer's eyes to be directed towards the watch here. And right off the bat, I mean, this is just a simple color grade and it's looking pretty good, but we can take it a step further. So I'm gonna go ahead and add a circular window. And in order to adjust the size of the window, you can grab the corners here and make it bigger or smaller. And then in order to make the overall window just more smoother and kind of more of a gradient, you can pull these and that'll kind of be your feather and make it a lot softer. As you can see here, when I adjust it, the softness increases or decreases. So like I said, we want the focus to be on the watch. So I'm gonna put this here and I'm gonna just make this a lot bigger and a lot smoother. And you can see here in the node what it's keying out. So everything that's grayed out will not be affected. Only what's inside the circle will be affected. So for what I'm doing, I actually want to affect what's outside of the window. So I can just come here and click this and that'll just invert it. And as you can see, when I do that, here it's affecting the inside of the circle. And then when I click it, now it's affecting everything but the inside of the circle. So now that I have my window here, I can come to my curves and I'm just gonna bring the midtones down, and instantly you can see how it's just putting an emphasis on where to look, and it's just kind of highlighting the watch, which is where we want our eyes to be. So this is without the window and with the window. And just by that, I mean, this is looking really good. And just to show you the importance of smoothing it out and feathering it, if I didn't do that, obviously you can see, no one would ever actually do this, but just to show you the difference that it makes when you feather it out and make the effect a lot smoother. And just by that simple step, it's doing a lot to our image and it's letting the viewers know exactly where to look. And not to say that this is necessarily like a bad image or a bad color grade, but this is just a way to take it a step further and kind of separate yourself from the beginners. And once again, to just direct the viewer's eyes to the specific part of the image that we want them to be focused on. So another way I like to use windows is to make a nice linear gradient from dark to light. So what I'm going to do is just enhance the gradient that's already here. So right now we have a subtle gradient of the brighter parts here and then the darker parts here. So it's going from light to dark this way. And so what I'm going to do is add a new node. And then if you're ever using more than one window, you're going to want to do this with parallel nodes. So if you're using Mac, it's Option P. And now we have our parallel nodes here. And then here is the parallel mixer. So basically what this does is just allow them to work seamlessly together instead of like competing with each other. This is just going to mix them together and blend them very smoothly. So I'm going to add the gradient here. And once again, whatever part is grayed out is not being affected, and whatever part of the image that isn't grayed out is what you're going to be affecting. So this is a gradient here, and as you can see, if I have this all the way here, it's a very like hard edge and it's not blended smooth at all, as you can see. And so this is similar to what I did in the last clip where we feathered it and made it a lot softer. So I'm going to grab this arrow here and stretch it out, make it a nice smooth gradient. And what I'm focusing on here is the highlights. So I'm basically just exaggerating the light that we're already getting from the sun. So I can come back here and bring those highlights up. As you can see, this is before and after. And then I'm going to come here and basically do the same thing, but for the shadows. So I'm going to pull that, make it nice and soft. Leave this about here, and I'm just going to exaggerate those shadows. And now you can see this is without the gradients and with the gradient. So it's just a nice subtle touch to have a smooth gradual gradient from dark to light, and it just adds a nice little bit of contrast and is another way that you can kind of just separate an average color grade to a more professional look. And so I tend to use these on landscape shots where I can just exaggerate the light that's already in the image and give it a bit more of a stylized look. Before I show you the last way I use Power Windows, I wanted to take a second and talk about my LUT pack I created that I've used on all my jobs, including campaigns for Prada, San Pellegrino, and the Virgin Voyages. It's also how I went from this to this. If you're a beginner, I can guarantee these will instantly improve your color grading skills, or if you're more experienced, they're still a great starting point and you can add your own style on top of them. I've gotten a ton of positive feedback and they've already helped over 250 people improve their color grading skills, and you can purchase them with the link in my description. Now let's get back to the video. So the third way I like to use Windows is if I want to adjust a very specific part of the image. So in this case, I want to adjust just his goggles. So I'm going to come here to the curve, and this basically just allows you to do a custom window. So I'm going to come here and mask out his goggles. And when you're doing the mask, if you're doing something that has curved edges, if you just click and drag, that allows you to kind of round out those edges and mask out a weird shape that it might be. So I'm just clicking and dragging, and I'm doing this really fast. Obviously, the more time you take on the mask, the better the final result's going to be. But just for this video, I'm moving kind of quick. And so now we have masked out his goggles. And so any changes I make to the image are only going to affect the window that we have masked out. So let's say I wanted to make his glasses pop a little bit. So I'm going to just bring the shadows up a little bit. So as you can see, this is the before and the after. And what you'll notice is when the clip starts to move, my mask isn't moving with it. So that's because we only masked out that first frame. And so now when the clip moves, the mask is not going to move with it. So in order to fix that, we're going to come here to the window tracker and just click track forward and reverse, and DaVinci will do its thing. Literally, that wasn't sped up, that was 1 second. And so now that we have the window tracked on there, if I wanted to take this a step further and exaggerate his goggles even more, I can add an outside node. So I'm going to do Option O. And basically what this does is it's similar to just inverting the mask, but this is just keying out everything outside of the original mask that we had in this node. So you can see here, the window is over his goggles, and then in the outside node, the window will be everything but his goggles. So if I wanted to just exaggerate this a little bit, I can bring down the shadows. And now with these two nodes, we've brought our image from this to this. And so once again, this is just an example, but we're really exaggerating the goggles here. And we've also tracked the window to his goggles. So wherever he moves, that is going to move with him and keep that effect looking nice and solid no matter what frame we're on. There's so many ways you can use Power Windows to enhance your color grades, but these are some of my favorite and my most used techniques. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next one, and drop a like if you learned something new. If there's something specific you want me to go over, drop it in the comments, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.